Hello, hello. We are live today for our Wise Woman interview series. And I had the pleasure of meeting Anita when she welcomed me into the Chamber of Commerce because she chose into the ambassador role. And it was so special to be able to sit belly to belly, toe to toe in a little coffee shop learning about Anita. And immediately I wanted her to be here to serve you and be able to share her story because it is one of a kind. And I feel like her inspiration of what she's endured based on her corporate life, the health journey she's gone through, and now choosing into another area of independence and service is such an inspiration to all of us that many times it can be so refreshing to see a real person come through challenge and then be on the other side and doing such great work. She has lots of recognition. I hope she'll share. And so I'm very excited for you to meet Anita. So thank you for your precious time. Would you share with us a little more about you and the story as to where you are today and how we can find and, tap into what you've created so that others get to experience your amazing heart?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Let's see. Yeah, you talked about how we met, and I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me. I worked in the corporate world years and had a life event at the age of 48. So going along best life, had a great job, three kids, husband, everything. Just everything was going very smoothly. And just out of the blue, unexpectedly, I had a stroke at 48. And it really kind of set me back. I had full left side neglect. Side neglect means that everything midline, my brain didn't think existed. So my leg didn't work, my left arm didn't work, my left eye didn't work. I couldn't see out of my left eye. And so it's funny what the brain will do, but did like months and months and months of physical therapy and all different kinds of therapy me back to I had a remarkable recovery. And I'm very, very lucky that I was able to have the support of the people around me to help me through that. Because I had to learn to walk again. I had to you know, use my arm, all these little videotapes of me like putting these shells one by one I mean, it was so uh, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but so just annoying that it just took so long to move something so easy and something that we take for granted just to pick up something and put it down. I couldn't do, and I had to do it one by one, like and learn every day. I'd get a little faster. I'm talking fast because I can't breathe. But anyway, I had the stroke. I got better, and I went back to work after a month, not a month, after a year. I went back to work, but I was really struggling with that, and so I just was kind of reevaluating life because that's what happens when you and I'm just like, I don't want to work this hard. I can't do this job anymore. It's too hard for me. I'm too tired. When you have an injury like that, you're so tired. You have this what do they call it? I can't think of it right now, but I just was so tired. And so I asked for a lower job and they didn't want to, give me a lower job. They just asked me if I wanted to leave and take a package. And that just sounded perfect for me. So I did year off and just took that year to really heal and figure out what I wanted to do. And I was 50 by this time. And I'm like, what am I going to change my career at 50? What am I going to do? I wanted it to be fun and just something I'd never done before. So I decided to get my real estate license. And it was like one of the best decisions that I've made. And I like 7 years now, and it's just been super rewarding for me, super fun. I love showing houses. I always move, so I've moved like 7 times. So it's just fun and I love it. And I'm really glad that, it's funny. It was the reset that I needed in my life, and it worked out great for me. I don't know. Do you want me to say any more?
Oh my goodness. I love it, and I love that you make it sound like it really wasn't a big deal, because if you were to go back day by day, it was a big deal.
There was a couple, and there's one story I wanted to tell you that I remembered. So I had this left eye neglect thing was really weird. Like my eye wasn't is fine. Like I could, but at the time the brain just wasn't recognizing anything to my left. So the nurse would come in and she'd ask when I was in like the rehab hospital for a few weeks after I was more stable. She'd come in and she's like, "How's your breakfast?" And I was yogurt and granola, and every day they only bring me the yogurt and they never bring my granola. It's to the left of it's on the left side and I'm not seeing it. So every day I was thinking I wasn't getting the granola. They were just bringing me the yogurt and the granola was there. And that's all. There's a lot of things in my life at that time that I wasn't seeing. And the stroke actually made me see it like afterwards, the whole process. Like things were right in front of me that I didn't see and didn't appreciate. And, that's
Okay, so I have the chills all over my body, because this is exactly why I was so excited to have you share your story, because in all that I've learned in my work is that literally the line down our body, the right side is our masculine and the left is our feminine. And so in your push corporately, right? Because you were full strength ahead, doing all the do, lots of do. Not to say all corporate is like that, but for women, it's quite a lot of presenting in different ways to be at the table.
yeah,
And
for sure.
yet you couldn't see from the feminine side until you healed. And then that awareness is beautiful. Like, how many times are we looking for our keys? They're right
Right, right,
there,
right, right,
and there's
right,
no stroke, there's no whatever. It's just we're so in our head. I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta do this. And you're like, it was right there.
right, right.
And I teach something, it's called awareness before change. It's ABC, awareness before change. And you had forced awareness. Not that you asked for it, yet
Right.
you did the greatest amount with it. And then being offered that package, what a gift. What a
It
gift.
was a gift. It was a gift. And it was so hard. Like that job defined me. I loved it. I worked at Revlon and the people, it was my family. It consumed me actually. I loved it there, but it got really hard towards the end. And then, especially when I went back and was trying to keep up with the pace that I was at, I couldn't keep up at that time. I'm so grateful. I like it, and they told me that years, but I mean, I think it's been 10 years and I think I get better every day. I mean, I still get better growing and getting better. So it, I'm just very lucky because that doesn't happen to everyone that has a, just was one of the lucky ones. And, of course I was young, so and I was in good shot. I was healthy. I was in good shape. So it did help that I, had that going for me.
I dare say it was also your willingness.
Yes. Yes. Cause when I know you said literally, I remember one day specifically where it was like hours of PT that I had to do. And I'm sitting in the hospital and I'm kind of looking around at the other people in the PT gym and they're like, no offense, but they're like all 80 and 90 years old. And I'm kind of like 40 and 48. And I'm like, why am I here? And I'm just like, you just got to go. You just got to put one foot in front of the other and start going. And I was so determined. And, it helped that I, I progressed. Like when you progressing and it motivates you to do more and then like the next step and the next step and the next step. So I do remember that. Um,
I love it. Well, and especially like you said, surrounding yourself with other people who are doing it. But if there's such an age difference, that could have been different. You know, you could have gone backwards in the other way, like woe is me, and instead you're like, let's go. And your three
Right,
little ones, not little, but kiddos are
right,
looking at you to say, "Hey, mom, we want the best for you," which is a good purposeful motivator.
right. I also had my sister-in-law, and she was, we call her the current, was so good to me during that time, and she just was not going to let me fail. And that's one of the things,
Mm.
like when things are rough for people, I just think you got to find that, what you got to allow someone to help you, and you have to have or what that thing or whatever you need for help. I mean, she was that. I mean, she helped me. She owns a rehabilitation center, so I did my outpatient rehabilitation with her, which, in these days, if I had to just do it with insurance, it would have been like, okay, I would have gotten 26 visits. Well, like 6 hours a day of physical therapy for like 11 months. So it was a really long time out of the generosity of, thankfully, that they own. So I had everything going for me at that point because I had support. I had the means to have this physical therapy and all these therapies that, all different kinds of therapies. They would actually, I had, I even had, like, my office would send me reports so I could work on my to turn them in or anything, but just to help my brain get back into that, look into those numbers and those spreadsheets and everything.
Oh my goodness. Wow. And you would have never ever imagined how much your sister-in-law would make such a difference based on her choices and what she was doing to be in a place to see because you were progress that of course she wanted you because you're family, but also she's in a service side that she wanted to show others, hey, listen, look at she's doing it, right? Not that she ever wished anything like that, but when it presented itself, she was like, I have it, let's go. Aw,
Right.
it's so good. And I love that, knowing that when we ask for help, there's a ripple effect that's beautiful. You got the help. She got the service. It was reciprocated based on your progress, and I'm sure the energy that you brought to the environment, especially if you're there for that long, 6 hours, 11 months, that was good for her environment too, because you came in and you were like, we're gonna do this.
Right, because I was, and I don't know what I don't know, I don't really know what it was, but I mean, I just remember even in that, I was at St. Joe's for a couple weeks in the inpatient therapy, and because that was after, first I was in like ICU at Huron Valley, then they moved me to Detroit receiving, and then until I was stable, I couldn't go into the in program. But when I was in the in-house therapy program, I was so determined. Like I was like, okay, like once I was in, saw the like, I had that one, the 90-year-old people here and was trying to figure out what I'm doing. Then I was like, I'm going. Like it just was like in me. I don't know what it was. It was just I just decided to go, and I just pushed myself, and I was going to get better. I was just completely determined. I don't know where, and I'm not always like that. I don't know why something just, but
You had a
um, you
life
know,
altering adjustment where you just and this is where I think sometimes people forget that we can decide.
well, I hate to quote movies, but like one of my favorite quotes from Shawshank Redemption, and I did think about this. It's like I had a choice: get living or get busy dying. And that was the quote that I always thought about then. What, when I could just sit here and just rot away, or I can do everything. I have all these things, all these gifts around me and tools that I could use and move forward. So, I mean, and that's what you get stuck sometimes. You get paralyzed and you can't move because you're so overwhelmed. And then you just, I don't know, so you got to push it. And it's just, I think sometimes it's just taking that first step. Like you just got to take one step, and then, it just,
It reminds me of like the staircase, where it's like you see the staircase and it looks like a regular staircase or the curved or whatever, but it is one step one step, and then you see so much further, and yet you literally were step by step.
Yeah, literally. Yes. I have a video of it.
Have you ever thought of writing a book?
Yes. It is my absolute, I've always wanted, though I don't want to say it's an absolute dream because then you're going to push me to do it. But yes, I really
I'm
would
sorry,
like, I
how long
feel,
have you known me? Not very long, but you're
I
clear that
know,
yes,
I know,
yeah.
I know, I know. Um, I I have thought about doing that. You know what's funny is so I have very little people always ask me, did you 100% recover? And I'm like 95, 96% recovered. My family might say a little less, but they don't, it doesn't matter. But part of the thing that I don't have the concentration, I think, to sit and write a book. Like, I don't know. I don't think I could, like, I don't think it would take me forever.
Okay. I'm going to give you a thought, and I think you are ready for it because
Oh
we've now
boy.
seen each other a couple of times. When you say that sentence to yourself, the added extra little bonus at the end before you put the period is yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if you can recover the entire left side of your body, you can write a book because it's a true story of your life. So it's really not that hard. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Right. That's true.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're creating. I mean, I think the frictional stories sometimes I'm like, wow, what an imagination. Yours wasn't fiction. Yours was truth. You know what I mean? And that's so inspiring because it was real. And if there's anything about grace that would give you is the opportunity to say, oh, wait a second, it's going to start bringing up things. And then you'll give yourself grace to be like, okay, I'll write this part and then I'll go back and be like, oh, did you know? Oh, I forgot about that. Like it'll start coming. Um, because with these one-on-ones with the chamber for meeting up
Hmm.
and having conversation, I'm remembering things about my journey with Lucy that I forgot about because I haven't thought about it. You know what I mean? It's not every day that I think about those things. Yet I think, oh wow, oh man, I forgot that the nurse who first took care of me literally for 2 days took care of us, flew to Milford or flew to Detroit to go to a reunion at the Dearborn, um, what is it called? Um, oh my gosh, what is it? It's like right in our backyard.
Dearborn Homecoming,
Camp
like the
Dearborn
Dearborn
for a
Homecoming,
reunion.
Dearborn
Camp Dear,
Homecoming thing.
yeah,
Camp Dearborn. Oh, Camp Dearborn.
yeah, Camp Dearborn, right in Milford. Like, come
Oh my
on.
gosh.
She grew up here and she's
Wow.
waiting on me. She's taking care of me in a hospital in Texas.
What a small world. How was that? That's so meant to be. Or,
Yet it's not until I retell the story that I remember those things. So going back to write a book, I'm sure it'll be the same things where you're like, oh, that nurse or oh, that day. You know what I mean? It's going to come to you and it'll come to you when it's meant to, not when it's forced, because it is something, like servicing clients to find homes is not the same as writing a book. Yet the story is within you because it was yours.
it's in there. It's in there.
I'll be ready for it when you're ready. So, I would love to ask you some questions. So, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned on this journey? And it can be success, life, business that you wish more women would know.
Well, one of the things, um, aligning yourself with the people, places, and things that bring you joy. Because we only have so much time, and you never know when that time is our most valuable resource, and you never know when it's going to be up, and it really all about like it's kind of business related decluttering. Like I tell people all the rid of all the um you know stuff around that brings crowds the room and makes the room feel so make it open and airy and appealing to, but it does more than that. It's like calming. It's like when we go on vacation and we're going to like an Airbnb and we love it because I think it's because none of our clutter's there. Like that's why I think I like our clutter's there. It's so relaxing immediately when you walk in the door, isn't it? So I don't know. Getting rid, I'll tell you what, it only takes a parent to and emptying a house when you really realize like what are we doing with all of this? We don't need this stuff and it's just weighing us down and somebody else if by giving this stuff away like somebody else will get so much someone needs that and somebody will get so much joy out of it um so anyway and when I say align so it's not just things it's places like I always ask my clients are you where you want to be and if you're not I can help you get there but it's also people there's some people that are draining us of our energy and we can't have that. I mean, it's time, sometimes it's time to declutter some of our friends. And, especially when something serious happens, you find out like, who your real friends are and, what you really want in life. I had a big, beautiful house, and then all of a sudden that big, beautiful house became real expensive and pain when you can't walk real well anymore. So like, but I don't miss it. I don't want that. I'm very comfortable where I am now. And I didn't need all of that stuff. I thought I needed all of that stuff and I don't. I didn't. So that's kind of what I think. And oh, the other thing I always tell my girls, stop the negative talk. Like if I would have just um, you know, told my brain like I can't do this, forget it, stop the negative talk. Your brain hears it and starts to believe it. And I'm a big affirmation person. If you start telling yourself positive things, I think your brain learns it and grows and giving you more ideas in that direction. So you have to feed your brain good information.
I can't agree more. I think you've already been a part of our collective a couple of times now, and I am the word police because those things that we say up here over and over hits our lips, and it might come out once or twice, but then it's like it's been up here. And it's a choice of what we allow up here. It's like a bad neighborhood. Don't go in alone. And
Right,
realize
right.
that, those negative thoughts are of someone else or something else or, you know, statements from someone else that really aren't true. And that does make a big difference. I truly, yes, you're speaking my language for sure. And awareness is key all day long. So tell me, how do you maintain your focus and clarity on your vision, especially when you're faced with challenges or self-doubt?
Well, focus is not one of my better things, but like in terms of vision, I'm a vision board girl. So I do a vision board every year and you need a vision board. Like do it now if you haven't done one. And then I post it everywhere. It's on my phone, it's screen. Um, believe you manifest that. You see that all the time. I've manifested that the stuff on my board, it just becomes ingrained in me. And then I mean, the other things I do to stay focused, like there's so much opportunity and there's so overwhelming. And I think you just got to break it down into one thing, small pieces, because I get overwhelmed and I just shut down. Prioritize and pick my one thing that I want to do and one or two things and get those done and then move on to the next thing. Um, and I don't know, as far as vision too, I think you have to have a goal. I'm a big goal setter, especially being in real estate. You got to set your goals and track your goals. And another thing too, you just have to, I try to keep my focus on me and my business. I have to stop competing myself and stop comparing. Like I feel like you have to compete with yourself and stop comparing yourself with others because that's only a distraction. And if you want to, get to where you want to be, just, how did I do last year versus this year? I did great. That's what I want to, that's how I stay on track.
Beating your own best. Yeah. Yes. That just made me think of something. Um, okay. So you said focus is not your, how do you say that? You said something about focus. It
It's
was,
not my, yeah, it's not my strength.
so you just talked about priorities, vision, goals, and tracking. Isn't that focus?
Well, that's how yeah, I'm not perfect at it.
Okay, well, I beg to differ because you are super specific about knowing the difference between you versus someone else, which is beautiful, and your focus is fantastic. I mean, how many people who rewatch this don't have vision? They're not clear on their goals and they're not tracking it. So it's not happening. So there's the focus right there to be able to zone in on what you want. Then you just gave them the formula. Have a vision, break it down to your goals, and track it. And you did better than last year because somebody has part of the, what was your recognition?
Oh, you don't have to talk about that.
I do have it. I don't have to. You're right. I don't have to, but I
Yeah,
get
I got a
to.
couple. I had a really great year in real estate. Got a couple of local awards. One with Our Magazine and one with Real Producers. And but it's nice to have that recognition. But again, I was proud of myself because I beat last year, and that's what I'm competing against. Beating last year, you know.
Well, that's what I want to point out because so many times people in general look outside of themselves in the competition. And I know to be true for women because I can relate. I've worked with 90% of my career has been women, filtering in, men here and there for coaching or business and different businesses. Yet I can see that we forget as women, we're not meant to compare ourselves, an orange to an apple, a pear to a pineapple. Our thumbprint is unique and we all have a separate, like it's all different. No one has the same. So why in the world would we compare to something else that is not even comparable? So knowing that you did beat your best and you got recognized in those two areas, it's so special. And we forget to celebrate ourselves.
Yeah, very true. You have to celebrate yourself. And yeah, and I just was thinking while you're talking, if I looked at this person like this, oh my God, this person's doing, especially in real estate, this person's doing this social media that looks fantastic, and this person's doing that, and oh my God, I should be doing that. And you can't do it all. And you have to do the things that are best for you and what your business is all about and what you want in. So I guess just wanted to add that.
That is, well, like you said, and there's certain careers and certain businesses, it's so easy to slide in to be like, oh, I'm just like that woman who's 6'9" and da da da. No, not even with heels on, right? And you're not meant to be in someone else's shoes because you have your own. So I love that. That's beautiful. What daily habits or practices have been key to your personal growth and achieving your goals?
So, oh shoot, I didn't bring it in here. Big Miracle Morning girl. So the book Miracle Morning, like it's well, I started out, oh, you'll get it for me. I should have known you would have it.
Hold on. I have it. I have it. I have two of them. One second. Hold on. Unless I loaned it out. Hold on. It's gonna come to me.
It's yellow.
Aw, hold on. I do have it. Unless I put it. Hold on. I have the entrepreneur one. Um, oh darn it. Okay. I do have it. It is not in front of me. And it might have fallen. Oh, okay. Miracle Morning, Hello Rod. I think I actually might have loaned it too. It's now they have one for entrepreneurs.
I know they have one for real estate agents too. I just read the regular.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I mean, it's the affirmations. I wanted to. I mean, I realized when I read it that these were all the things I kind of was wanting to do the year I read it. I first did it was last year. Was the first. And it's all the things I want to do. I want to exercise. I want quiet time. I love my morning quiet time. And I'm not a morning person. I'm becoming a morning person. I'm getting better at it all the time. But I do like quiet morning by myself. And I love that time. And even though I don't necessarily do it probably the way Hale would want me to do it, I'm doing the best I can. And you know,
This one right here. Here it is. It's not the best
when
copy. The Savers, How to Win the Day,
oh
Silent
yeah, there it is.
and
Scribing. I got this wonderful, I was just on this wonderful it's a grateful journal and
Mhm.
it helps with the scribe like the journaling because it kind of gives you um it's great because it's gratitude and scribing at the same time, but it kind of gives you the starters to write and help you think. And I really like it. It's quick and it's anyway.
And where did you get it?
I was on a wellness retreat a couple weeks ago.
Oh, was that
I
the one in
done
Arizona?
yes. This is how I reset and take my breaks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so good.
Um, But anyway, for my daily habits, the only other thing, like I have all these like little quirky, no, I didn't get any of these things from a self-help book. This is just Anita Van Acker, quirky, what I do to explain. Um, and one of the things is my alarm when it goes off, instead of the I have a song that plays, and it's an Imagine Dragon song, Top of the World, because the first thing I want to hear in the morning is not an alarm going screaming at me. I want to hear I'm on top of the world. And so it puts me in automatically good mood. I mean, listen to it. But everyone else can have their different wake up song. That just happens to be my wake up song. And same thing, I do it with my ringtone. I am a theme song. I love music. I'm a theme song girl. So like I need my theme song to like help me. I don't know, just gets me or something. And then I'm a playlist girl too. So like I'll make a new play, like my 2026 playlist, and I'll just put on it all the songs that get me. So like I'm going into this interview or I'm going into a meeting that I need to be like sharp and focused and energized. I'm going to put my playlist on. I'm going to get it. So those are just some of the things I do to get motivate myself. And that playlist, I might be going into a meeting or I might be dive and listen to my playlist that builds me up, you know, because there's a lot of things that always want to break you down. So I'm trying to build myself up. Those are the kind of things I do on a day-to-day basis to keep me motivated.
I dare say there's no try. You are.
Aw.
You are. You are. There's no try. Like I said it the other day, the bunch of young volleyball players, somebody said, "Well, I'm gonna try." I was like, "Hold on a minute." I was like, "Pick up the pin in front of you." So they picked it up. And I was like, "Okay, put it down." I said, "Try." And they picked it up. And I said, "No, no, 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 no. Try is not an action, it's a thought. Like, I want to try that." You are more than putting thought in it, you're putting the action behind it without a question. You are.
Well, thank you.
And I believe that you wouldn't be here today doing what you're doing if you hadn't put the action of one foot in front of the other. Literally. So, if you could give one piece of advice to women stepping into their power and striving for their best selves outside of what they do in the morning with in a vision board and a theme, playing music and having that awareness around what motivates them. What is there something else that gives you a thought for advice?
Don't know. I think I gave you all my material, all my like. It's always like stop the negative talk, put your best foot forward. All these. I'm trying to think of my little. We have all these family mantras, and one is like it is what it is, where we all tell each other this, or FIO, figure it out. I like that one actually. That might be
Woo!
it
Okay,
because
hold on, hold on.
FIO,
FIO.
figure out. Yep, figure it out. And
Ooh, have you read the book
raise.
It's Figure Outable by Marie Forleo?
No.
Oh, you would love it. You would love
Oh
it.
wow,
It
that's a
is
good one.
that statement right there, FIO. Oh my gosh,
What's
she's
it called again?
everything is figure outable.
That is so funny because, well, that's how I raised my independent kids. My husband would get frustrated with some of figure it out. So it just became our thing. Figure it out. FIO.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm totally adapting that. Oh my goodness. I'm going to teach that on Saturday morning to the girls for the Worthy Business Circle because that
Well, good.
reminder is it's so helpful.
Well, we actually, I wanted to make t-shirts. I wanted to make t-shirts out of it because I thought my families were FIO. We always FIO. Just have a t-shirt. Figure it out. Point to the t-shirt.
That it's a brand. It's you figured it out. You figured yourself out of being completely
You're
restricted.
making it sound so easy right now. You should see how messy my house is. I trust me, I have not figured it out. I have not figured all things out.
Well, but that's the part of life that it becomes real,
Hmm.
right? And it's those reminders that we can and we will.
Yep.
And sometimes we just need that outside, like, oh, silly me,
Right.
until now.
Well, right. We need the reminders. That's why that's all my little tricks in my bag are reminders to keep me on track.
Yep, exactly. Your tools in your toolbox. I think you said it
Hmm.
earlier.
Hmm.
Yep. So, with the last question would be, let me grab my little notes here. So, how do you balance, especially now, knowing that you came from a very extreme physical state, how do you balance ambition and rest, ensuring that you stay aligned with your values and avoid that extremity that happened 10 years ago?
Well, I listened to what the stewardess says on the plane, and you have yourself first before helping others. And I'm very good at that part. Hey, it's easy. I go out with my friends. I like to do yoga. And I think I mentioned a little earlier, I just came back. I do this wellness retreat. It's a 5 day, it's a commitment. It's a 5 day retreat, someplace warm, and we do yoga and meditation, and we did acupuncture, and actually we do a little blip on a little workshop on Miracle Morning, which that's where I first learned about it. And just stuff. And it just it is so relaxing. Time away from my huge. And yeah, you just have to find those breaks. I mean, I do like to go around town when it's warmer out than right now. I like to go on hikes and stuff like that, but you just need to take breaks. Especially, I'm going hard at, a lot. So definitely wouldn't be able to do it if I weren't taking breaks.
We get to play hard because we worked hard and that back and forth choice and the physical movement. You know what I mean? Like being
Hmm.
physical, that really helps with the stress where I think a lot of people forget, but the sacred mornings and the start to the day is really powerful. Um, my takeaways is recognizing the song. Like I've done that before. Why I stopped it, I don't even know. Yet I can see where that would shift. And I was talking to the girls this last week about, they were talking about they said they're going to get up early and then they hit the alarm and they hit the alarm and they hit the alarm. And I was like, you're procrastinating already. And they're like, oh, that doesn't feel good. That's not a repeat habit that we want to make. Yet a song that motivates and inspires us could be so special and such a different shift that we could do in the morning. So thank you for the reminder. I love it. And I love Imagine Dragons for sure. Um, and yeah, your simplicity around having vision, having the vision board so that you know where you're going, what you're doing, and then breaking it down into those little bite-sized pieces so that you can celebrate you. We love celebrating. I love celebrating you because I know based on I don't know if you know this, but my mom was in real estate my entire life. So there's lots of highs and lows and up, so to be able to focus on your best of your best, that took focus. That in which you said you were like, yet it's because there's a lot of things that are able to take your focus, and yet you didn't go off track because you achieved greater than the year before.
I did. Now I just have to do it again.
And you get to do it again.
Right.
Yes, and I'm going to share with you. I shared today with Jen Gorski, Charlie Rocket. Oh man, this guy. I don't know how. I might be old enough to be his mom. That's probably not important yet. Just saying how wise he is for the young, how young he is and what he's experienced. And he would share that he had a brain tumor. And
Mhm.
where he recognized the same thing, where it's like he could have looked at that as woe is him, bleh, and he was like, wow, this happened for me.
Oh, I like that.
Because then it took him to a whole different level of life instead of the spiraling, woe is me, life is over. I just am gonna cash in my chips and be done. Instead, he was like, we're just getting started. And his story is exciting in the same way that yours was because you said, okay, one day at a time, let's do this. And then you stepped into the greatest place of service in the biggest item that people spend their money on and spend the most time, hopefully. Dream home or otherwise. So I thank
Exactly.
you for sharing
Exactly.
your heart. I'm so grateful you were my ambassador, that you got to welcome me into the chamber where I was nervous, excited, all the things, and meeting with you. I was like, oh, wow, this is fantastic. I'm so thankful. And I'm more than grateful for your time, especially your flexibility today, and also the willingness that you chose to step in to be a corporate woman and then take some different choices in a road that maybe didn't look like the same. Yet now that journey I know is going to inspire others.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been great talking to you, and it was so great meeting you. I'm so glad you joined the chamber and I got to meet you.
Yes, thank you, thank you.